how do you feel about the quality of your education here at Southeastern?
Good. I feel as if Southeastern was a good college choice. I feel that if I had gone to a larger college, then I would have had a lot. I would have had a much harder time finding myself as a student. Which is one of the things that actually my dad was really afraid of, because he went to the University of Texas, and it was huge, and he was like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do what I want," but I'm glad that I decided to come here anyway. And I knew I didn't want to go to a really small school, because that would have been the size of my high school, because I went to the largest high school in the state. So, yep, I wanted it to feel like college, but I didn't want to lose myself. But I like Southeastern, because most of the classes that I've had have been good. I only had one semester that I didn't really do well as a student. Most of the time I've been on a roll. I've been president's list for the last 2 semesters. I feel like I'm learning. I feel like I'm applying myself, and yet at the same time I also feel challenged by teachers.
Right. Do you, so it's kind of the student-teacher ratio that you're talking about, that size of the school?
Yeah.
That you're referring to?
Yeah, I definitely, like, in classes where there are more than, 20 students, definitely more than 30 students, I don't really feel, I coast. Yeah, I get what I can out of it, but I don't really, I don't really apply myself that hard, because I know that I don't really have to, because class participation can't be a major factor in the student,
right.
Because there's so many students, there's not enough time in the class period for her to call on, or him to call on everyone.
Have you noticed a shift after the budget cuts in class sizes at all?
Yes. They have gotten bigger by at least 10 people in all of my classes.
Really?
Except for my special interest classes.
And you've seen the dynamics change in the classroom?
There's essentially teachers they have more students, and they seem to be more flustered in general, and the feeling around the campus seems to be like, who's next?
Right.
First they came for, didn't they cut somebody, the theater students, right? First They came for art and theater, and then they came for French, and now they were gonna go for sociology, and I was sweating there for a minute, because I was like, don't kill my major. But then again, apparently, got Kyle, he's to kill his major.
Right.
But it just sucks. Budget cuts they suck.
Do you think they went about it the wrong way, or that there was a better way that they can go about it still, or?
I think that our athletic team draws a buttload of money out of our budget every year, and we never really win anything. But because scholarships are given to athletic students, huge scholarships and then there's the scholarships given to the music students for the band, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that, but that's because I like music, so I'm partial to that. But the amount of scholarships that are given to maintain the band and all the sports teams that we have, and the fact that most of the sports, what the feedback that I've gotten from people when I pitch this, that I'm if we just, because we didn't have a sports team, we didn't have a football team until 10 years ago. So if I was we could just not have a sports team because it's not really our major focus as a school, we're mainly nursing and education.
Right.
Then basically what I've heard from people is that the alumni really like it. And I'm so the suburban parents in the area and their interest in the school, because apparently they give money to the school, the alumni that go to the football games give a significant portion of money to the school, so they want to see their money go to the football team. But I'm that is a strange position for any alumni to be taking about Southeastern. Wouldn't you want your money to be going towards the education of students as a whole that go to the school, and not necessarily to watch football? So if it is just for the alumni, then I don't think that's a valid excuse because they're not students. You know, like our school gets federal funding and state funding, and I think that that is meant to be appropriated towards what students want. And I don't feel like a football team really solves any of our problems.
How would we go about appropriating funds towards what we the students want?
I don't know. I guess we'd have to do like a survey. There would have to be some kind of like campus-wide survey, possibly anonymous. Probably anonymous, definitely. That would work best. And just like everybody get it in their email or something.
Just a means for assessing what
Yeah.
we want, right?
But, I mean, I feel like that would be the most, or at least democratic way of doing it all with the students, you know, like everybody gets some kind of voice in that.
So you're saying this currently the students don't have a venue to voice what they want?
I think currently the students try and voice, or they tried, and because, like, when we went to the state capitol, and there was, like, the rally at the capitol, and then nothing happened. They had the budget cuts anyway. I feel like that's how the students, I feel like that's the general consensus, like, the feeling around campus. It's, you know, like, we went, and we picketed, and we were loud, and we were in the paper, and they didn't listen to us. Bam. What do we do now?
Right.
You know?
Another student issue that's come up a lot is parking. How
I
do you...
have a car.
Oh, you don't have a car. Yay! You don't have to deal with it.
I don't have to deal with. Actually, I have to deal with it when I get visitors because our visiting pass, the way that we do visitors passes sucks. Every night at midnight they expire.
So that's someone who's not a student who's
Right.
parking on campus.
Every night at midnight their pass expires. So if you want to have someone come and visit you for multiple days in a row,
Right.
then like every night at midnight you need to go get a new pass for the next day for them to be with you. No.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's mildly frustrating would be an understatement, but not too much of an understatement.
Right.
It's like, I'm a student, so I generally don't go to bed before midnight, but I don't have an option.
Right.
So that's stupid.